Hello, and welcome to this webinar on meditation, talking about what's the hype all about. So, here's a little bit about Ash's Ultimate Rebirthing Apothecary. Aura offers health and wellness services and products to women of all walks of life. Here at Aura, women are offered an experience that brings wellness to your physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual self. To the ladies who desire a healing experience that will breathe life back into your dreams, who need guidance along the journey. To the ladies who are tapping into their true divine authentic selves and it feels scarier than you had anticipated. Here at Aura, we offer short and long-term services. If you are interested in any of these services, please make sure that you send an email in reply with the subject Aura Services. So a little bit about me. My journey began, my realistic journey, right? Because once we're here, or before we get here, there's always a journey at hand, right? But how I came upon consciously being aware of my journey in the need of healing, and then kind of cultivating this relationship with healing after the heartache and trying to pursue the greatness, right? And feeling comfortable in my divine authentic self. Um, and so that journey began around 2014, 2015-ish for me. And it's been a journey. It was one before that, but when you're consciously living the journey, things show up different, answers form differently. Questions that you begin to prompt will, you know, drastically change. Elevation and wisdom changes the whole trajectory of your life's existence. When people come in and out, it changes, and detours you everywhere along life. And so um, I'm now in a place where spirit trusts me to be able to assist others, particularly the divine feminine, in rediscovering who you are in your divine authentic self, and having this format based on intuitively, um, based on ancient knowledge, based on ancestral knowledge, and based on spirit, your spirit team, my spirit team together. um, Different ideas, and messages, right? And rituals are exposed, and work that needs to be done is exposed, guidance is given. And so that's what I do. And that's what the apothecary is all about. It's about the mind, body, and the spirit, right? Um, if it's your body and things are, so it is in the spirit, it is in the natural. Things are showing up in the body, it's probably something going on emotionally. And if it's something going on emotionally, there's something going on spiritually, right? So it's getting things together in all ways for the feminine, right? We're working on finances, right? Today we're tapping into spiritual, right? In the mind with meditation, but there's also services for finances, right? There's services for, a holistic way of medicinally caring for yourself and your family. And then we have our spiritual growth and health as well, right? So that's everything I do. Me as the divine feminine. Um, I'm a Sagittarius. And so I am tapping fully into the essence of all that is with a Leo moon, right? And I am currently, as this video is going on, I will be transitioning into my 36th year around this place. But as I sit right now, I'm 35. I am a single mother of um, three children. Um, I'm a homeschool mama. Um, I try my best to live in my authentic self in every kind of way. I'm a lover of poetry. Um, and anything that has to do with digging deeper intellectually and spiritually. Anything surface, count me out. Okay, so that's a snidbit, right? I don't think any divine feminine could really wrap herself up, you know, in a couple minute intro, but for introduction's sake, um, that's me. So let's dig into what you're here for, right? Meditation. What is it exactly? Like, everybody that's going to be tuning into this webinar are going to have a variety of backgrounds, a variety of opinions when it comes to meditation, and definitely a variety of um, education when it comes to meditation, whether you don't know anything about it, whether this was your first time hearing about it, or you've been doing it for years, right? The good thing about spirit is it's everlasting, right? So it doesn't matter where you are, we collectively here can meet and all reap benefit of it, right? So meditation, let's start with where it came from, okay? I know a lot of times when people hear the word meditation, immediately you think of like, or collectively, what I feel, a general consensus is in my walk is that people immediately think like a Buddhist kind of thing. You immediately think about monks. You immediately think about sitting somewhere for hours upon hours and just quietness, can do nothing else. That's not for me, can't do it. What in the world? Right? And then there's some people that have heard of it, and felt obviously, right? Because would it be a thing, right? Someone completely fell in love with this idea of the slowing down, coined this meditation, and here we are. But the thought of it is that it is a Buddhist way of life, because most believe, and it is written, right, that it is an ancient form or ritual based out of India, right? So then it is linked to that Buddhist way of life, right? That's surface, right? And not to take away from whatever, right? Or, to diminish anything in any kind of way, but that's surface, because when we dig deeper and we talk about where did it come from and we enter in our breath, that's where we're going to get nestled today, okay? So that we can understand what this really is. It's not someone else's practice that we're picking up. And if we continue in the thought of it's this practice, we're going to consider it being someone else's, and we're like borrowing it, or that it's someone. When we dig into this thought, where did the meditation come from? It came from breath, because breath is spirit. Spirit is eternal, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It is eternal. Spirit is energy. Our breath is energy. Our life existence, our spirit, our core essence, our aura is breath. Okay? Meditation, right? We're going to dig into this in a moment. When we're taking that time to breathe and to slow ourselves down, it's becoming one between recognizing this breath is the same thing that is spirit, that is source and creator. Let me make translation of how this works. That's the practice of meditation. It's a slowing down of the mind to really reach into my spirit. Let's not go too far, because we're talking about where it came from though, right? But if we're tapping into the real knowledge of how relevant the breath is, and how it's just a synonym for spirit or eternal, those are all one and the same, okay? It came from spirit. That's why when we're here created, molded with this natural body, but still with that breath, that is the only connection that we have to spirit. That's why, in meditation, you're the sitting up, or like, sometimes in church they talk about laying prostrate before God, right? We're going to dig into different cultures and things that do meditation in a different way, where you wouldn't, it's not coined meditation, but the same philosophy. So where it comes from in the way that we want to pick up in this moment is breath and spirit, right? It comes from spirit. So we all have this breath because spirit knows we're all going to need to connect, right? This is the journey. So as long as we have our breath, we are connected to spirit. It's a language for us to learn between each other. So it comes divinely from spirit. Okay? Then we dig into what religion does it belong to, right? Because that's a question too, because like I said, everybody, associates it with one certain culture. And so some people feel like it's something that we all can't do, but every religion has a form of meditation. And 9 times out of 10, it's just not called the same thing, right? So we're going to dig into that as well, right? Um, who can do it? We're going to talk about this. Who can do it? Everyone should be meditating. It's like a birthright for us. The same way we're breathing air in and out and keeping us alive and the heart is beating, okay? Everyone should be doing this, okay? And then this idea of, okay, girl, make it make sense then, okay? How can I really incorporate this into my day-to-day life? Because if you're talking about sitting for hours quiet like that, like I've got kids, I've got work, I've got a whole business I'm running over here, I've got a whole husband, I've got things I'm doing. How? Make it make sense, okay? So, we just talked about this, the history of it all. I just kind of got excited and ahead of myself. So the history of it. So just to recap really quickly, like when we talk about the Buddhist culture, um, it is one that honestly I've learned a lot of different things about slowing down. It is a culture of slowing down for me in my perception of um, the pieces of edification I've gleaned of that culture, right? But when I tap into my own journey and it becomes real personal, and now I realize my breath is likened unto that of spirit, and so that's our natural essence. Okay, well, now let me tap into what this breath really is about. And I realized that this meditative practice is one that I came with because it was going to be necessary to keep me alive, right? To keep me through this journey, right? Now, the one thing that a lot of people are really skeptical about when it comes to meditation would be the religious idea. Like, if it's Buddhist, can I practice this? Is it wrong? Is it okay? Every religion, right, has their own version, if you will, of meditation. Okay. So let's say prayer. Some people may do their prayer and it may be at an altar in a building, a church, or, synagogue or whatever it is you worship in. Some people pray by laying on the floor and having their face touch the floor. Some people, pray by, um, setting out things, honoring ancestors, honoring who source is for them, their spirit team, family members. For some people, your prayer is within dance, right? Some people, your prayer is within song and hum, right? Everyone's prayer life is different. Some people write prayers, right? But your prayer in general, for any religion, the purpose of it is to settle your body, right? And not only the body to get yourself in a still place, but you're settling your mind so that you can hear and speak to your source, right? For myself, that's God. You use the interchangeable word that works for you for your source, but this is anybody because everyone has a form of prayer. And that is what meditation is. It is a settling your body and your mind so that you can now, like we said, that breath with spirit is your language. It's the venue for your language to continue back and forth. Communication, right? So this is meditation. It is a form of prayer, right? Every religion has their form of prayer. So we're meditating even if you don't call it meditation. And how about communion? This is a tradition and a religion, one that I particularly grew up with, in offering remembrance and homage to source, God, or essence. Communion is any way that someone meets. It's a tradition, or some people call it a ritual, where there is a coming together or whatever it is that is happening in remembrance or homage to whoever source is to you. So whether people are doing that because they have an altar set up for their ancestors or one to do, candle magic or, coming together to sit herbs up there and give thanks for the elements, water and fire and earth and wind, or if you meet and at your church once a month on a certain Sunday, you have communion to remember your God, right? All of these are communion moments, and all of these are just traditions or rituals that you do to honor who sources for you. Every religion has that. Some form of homage, tradition, a religion to show homage to source. We call them by different names, right? So let's not get caught up in that. We have to be worried about what it is we're calling it and accepting that, and then you're able to kind of see that when somebody else says it, oh, I can relate that to that, you see. So the communion idea, creativity, right? This is the absolute spirit of God. We have one, our breath, that is one way we connect completely to spirit, and then we have our creativity, our imagination. the ways in which it just bounces off and out of everything if you allow it to free flow is everything about how big and grand and unstoppable and uh, everlasting spirit is. When you tap into your real imagination and your creativity, then you are tapping and tuning into the frequency of spirit. Every religion has a climactic moment in spirit, has blurts of creativity and understanding and epiphanies and wisdom. These are those creative moments, those moments where you read something and spirit revelates it into a point where you can make it an actual lesson for people to glean off of. These are moments of creativity. These are moments of connecting to spirit. When you are in meditation, your imagination and your thoughts and your mind are settled with your conscious mind, and those things that are within your real spirit are coming to the forefront, which we might call creativity, but this is really spirit in that meditative moment, cultivating everything that we can bring into this natural existence. And then lastly, when we're talking about what religion this belongs to and making this consensus that we do most things the same, we just call them something different, is authenticity, right? The rediscovering of one's authentic self. This is a divine connection to who source and spirit is for you, right? All of the things, creativity, prayer, communion, all of those things assist in the gathering of rediscovering oneself, right? And standing in your authenticity, right? So when you're in your own authentic place, regardless of your religious um, position, you are in a place where now you are divinely connected to source. And so now that slowing down and becoming one with spirit, regardless of that religion, it's healed you to know your authentic self. Now you are going to willingly, knowingly, with that wisdom, sit in moments where you can just get you and spirit together. You know how you select special time to go out on a date, right? It's with spirit, because now I know myself, and I know in order to continue to know myself, you are mirror reflection for me. So I'll sit in this quiet time, meditation, in whatever religion I have, because this is how I stay connected. Yes? I hope this all makes sense. Any questions, comments, and concerns? The same email that you would reply back to that sent the link for this webinar is the Aura email. I will receive those emails and can answer any questions. We can form other workshops that you may be interested in. Okay. Now, let's dig into who can do this, right? Because we talked about, can any religion do this, but can any person at all do it, regardless of their age? Absolutely, right? Regardless of their belief, yes. Their economic status, your race, your physical ability, none of those things matter. All of those things say yes, still meditate, because you are still spirit being. So I have a 17-year-old son, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I have a 2-year-old daughter. Even my 2-year-old daughter knows what it means when you say meditate, because it is a practice that she sees. It is one that she wants to be, a part of. My other two, they figure times and ways that they are going to meditate and what works for them, right? Drawing for them could be meditation, right? It's not always the sitting um, for 20 minutes, hours for meditation, right? So any age can do this, but you have to make this practice personal and relatable to whatever age may be. We just talked about your beliefs, so whatever your religion, your beliefs may be, hopefully now you have an understanding that, hey, this is, doable for everyone. How about your economic status? Because how much does it cost you to stop for a moment and hear what spirit has to say, or bare your heart and your vulnerability to spirit? I've done it so many times and I've not paid anything, right? You don't pay any money. So it doesn't matter what your economic status is, whether you're on the low end or the high end of it. You can't buy yourself into meditation. So it doesn't matter how rich you may be. Your millions mean nothing, and your breath everything, right? Your race, your physical abilities, those things, anything surface in that nature has nothing to do with your meditative practice. If you have issues with your physical abilities, the way you look, your color, your appearance, whatever, and you want to rectify those things, more of a necessity for you to tag along with spirit and meditate so that you can get more comfortable in accepting yourself. But it is certainly not a reason for you not to meditate. It's more of a reason to get into the habit of meditating so you can see yourself in the loving way in which spirit sees you. So who can do this? Everyone should be meditating. It is your way to discovering who it is that you are, all that you are here for. It's answering all the questions you have and all that you will have. It's birthing all of the joys and all of the creations that you've dreamt about that are to come. So let's make this make sense to you, right? How do you really apply meditation into your real life? How do we apply this in our real life, right? In a number of ways, okay? I've broken them down into like four basic ways, right? And as you journey, you'll discover so many other ways to do real life meditations for yourself. Now, let's first, before we get into real life meditations, you do know that meditation is the practice of sitting, um, slowing yourself down so that you can concentrate on your breathing to quiet the mind. Being mindful that your mind is a calculator. It is meant to analyze. It is meant to calculate. You're never going to shut it off, right? That's not the principle here. It is to just, when your thoughts come in and you want them to go another way, I'm concentrating on what my spirit is saying now. So when you're thinking about having the hamburger, or you're thinking about, "Oh, my knees are aching. I probably need to get up from here right now. This is crazy. It's too quiet." When all those thoughts start to come into your mind, you can center yourself enough to say, your meditation is the practice of saying to yourself, okay, these are my thoughts and they're going way left. I need to bring them back in center. No, what we're going to do is we're going to think about spirit, and I'm going to inhale and then I'm going to exhale. And I'm going to bring my body and my mind back into focus with my spirit. And we're going to concentrate there, right? Now, when you're done in your moment, you go do all the rest of the things you want to do. But it's when you do it so often, you've been doing that every day. Think about every day you do that, even if you do it 2 minutes for a month. Your mind is now being trained. It's just like any other habit, right? Only meditation is training your mind to succumb to what your spirit needs to speak to you, because that's where your wisdom and your healing is coming from. You know how people spiritually fast? That's a meditative technique, right? Because there's some people that, health reasons, you might can't fast. Well, meditation would be the exact same practice. It's the exact same practice, right? So here's the real life ways to meditate, because there are people that meditate 20 minutes a day, an hour, long times, right? Depending on what their lifestyle is. But there's some real life techniques that don't take all day that are really beneficial, right? And these are the four categories. You've got daily chores in your bathroom time. You've got music and movement. You've got affirmations, sacred and consecrated items, and time. So let's break this down really quick, right? So your daily chores, this is literally your daily chores. When you're brushing your teeth in the morning and at night, when you're sweeping your floors, when you're mopping your floors, right? When you're doing your daily clean and upkeep of your house, right? All of these moments when you're getting ready in the morning, putting your makeup on, right? Guys getting your suit out, figuring out, what you're going to put on, all of these moments are moments that can be real life meditation moments. Because while I'm brushing my teeth, for those moments, those minutes while I'm brushing my teeth, I can be giving myself some pep talk, right? I could be saying, spirit, come in today and dwell with me. Help me to make the best decisions that I can make today. Spirit, while I'm brushing my teeth, the sound of the motion as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm going to allow that to be a rhythm and a dance right now between the two of us. And I'm going to be quiet as I brush, because I want to hear everything that you want to say to me. I want to hear the beautiful melody that you're going to play for me today. And while you're brushing your teeth, you're meditating. Meditation doesn't have to be where you're sitting and eyes closed. It's good to do that technique as well, especially, how you wash your hair on a regular, but then, sis, you get ready to, it's a moment, that you're like, okay, I need a deep condition now. Or how when we are how when we are okay. So, um, in addition to brushing your teeth and other daily chores, let's do just another example of real life meditation. Say when you're sweeping your floor, right? You could be saying, I'm sweeping out all negative energy that has come into the house today, or any negative energy that I brought in from being out at the grocery store or at work with the girl, that I know really don't like me, and it gets my, energy boiling, and I want to just sweep out all of those feelings. When I'm mopping the floors, I'm grateful for all the good things, in my space. I'm cleansing out all things that mean me no good, and I'm bringing in the shine and the sparkle for something new and beautiful to come in, right? When you're, cleaning your house, anytime you're dealing with water, when you're getting a bath, right? We're talking about your bathroom time. So when you're bathing, or when you're actually going to the bathroom, or pretending like you're going to the bathroom to get away, right? That time in the shower or in the tub is like a time of cleansing, a time of recharging, a time of, if you're cleansing, like in the shower, and just saying, to yourself, things of what's being cleansed of you, all the emotions that you want to be cleansed, the ideas about yourself that you want to be cleansed off of you. These are real life meditation times. And we can't say that I don't have time, because every day you're getting a bath, you're washing your hair, right? You're sweeping and mopping, you're brushing your teeth. So you do have time, right? So these, we're just applying real life ways to access spirit in this form that we've coined as meditation, right? It's just your time linking with spirit. So there's a cleansing like with the shower that you can do, right? Also, when you're going to the bathroom, whether it's real or it's not, while you're there, take that time. I mean, be it weird, you know, we people will quickly do things once it's life or death that they might not traditionally do. But if somebody were to say to do that exact same thing to prevent that thing from happening beforehand, people, it's like, I don't know, somehow where we're wired, where it's like that's a little bit more work. But when once it gets down to the wire where I have no choice, then I'll do it. Let's do it now so that we have the healthy practice of it, right? Let's kind of, I'm going to shake it up. I would go to music and movement, but I feel like affirmations is a real good transition. 1 minute gratitude statements, right? Every single day. You could just take time to write down 10 gratitude statements, 10 grateful moments that you had that day, 10 things you're grateful for that just pops into your mind at that moment, right? That's meditation. It's taking time to let the hubble and bubble of the world go away, and tuning into the things that are great and grand in life, because that activates something in the spirit realm that brings all these other blessings into your space. Post-it statements. This is literally having post-its, or, cut up pieces of paper or index cards or whatever you have handy for yourself, and writing good things about yourself, or writing affirmations to yourself. Things like, I am wonderful. I am magical. Vulnerability is my superpower. My womb is sacred. My divine feminine is my power. I can stand in it. I am beautiful. I am enough. My mistakes don't define me. Real love, enters into my space, into my womb, into my home. Whatever it is you're wanting to heal, whatever things you want to feel about yourself that maybe you don't, you're writing these things down as affirmation, post-it statements, and you're going to literally have them all over where you can see them. You don't want to make them and then have them hidden, because they're not going to help you. They have to be in places where you'll get up every day and you'll see it. And it would be really, really good to do it in a variety of places, not just in one room. And then lastly, when it comes to the idea of affirmations, is going to be reflection game. And with the reflection game, it's just kind of, when we tackle the idea of creativity, right? When we do something that's a bit more fun, a lot of times we tend to continue with it. So of course you can finagle this how you so choose, but the idea of the reflection game is, um, you can either literally do this with a mirror where you're looking at yourself, right? Or have a mirror that you're writing positive things about yourself, so that when you go look in that mirror, your subconscious is really being edified by those kind, positive words that are coming into you. That's a meditation time. You're looking at that mirror, you're believing what those words say about you, and you inhale that truth and you exhale that truth into your atmosphere. That is a moment of real life meditation for you. And on a regular, after you were consistently doing that, you will definitely see changes in your own mind, in life, in perception, in things that happen to you, opportunities that are availed, things that end for you. It begins to change the trajectory of everything, right? The reflection game is also this. If you're in situations with other people, what is the reflection that you are giving off for them? Whether it's to help someone or whether it's to help them in a way where they have to see themselves, like tough love, right? What is that reflection that I'm offering to someone else? It keeps a check and balance within yourself, which keeps you always in tune to the spirit. See, whatever is keeping us in tune becomes a meditative moment. Now let's dig into some music and movement, right? This is a moment to connect with your body, right? Because the whole idea of the Trinity effect is the mind, the body, and the spirit. So when we are connecting with the body, whether it be through exercise, whether it be through dancing, we are connecting with our body, right? So in our meditative time, if you put on music and you're just dancing around your house, like a lot of people do, okay? And I don't even care if it's you know, out on the weekend, right? At the club. If a song comes on, that has a vibration or a frequency that makes you feel happy, the idea of that making you feel happy allows positive vibration to automatically um, hit into the airwave. It becomes your aura. And so when you're dancing around with it, the way we move and flail around when we're dancing, that energy and that aura is what is being expelled in that room. So we're very mindful of how we're connecting with our body, how we're exercising, right? When we're doing those movements, making sure it's lyrics that are uplifting and positive, making sure that the sound of the music is one that is in the energy in which we're wanting to feel, right? We don't want to put anything in that's going to bring us lower in vibration, right? And things that are not loving, aren't true, aren't kind, are not going to be things that are going to put you in a higher frequency. So tuning into your body, ritual dances if you have any, whatever they may be, however you're going to move. Let's be mindful that we're not just talking about great dancers, we're talking about movement. Some people love to dance, right? For exercise. That's how Zumba's here, right? And then there's people that just want to dance, not for the exercise, but for the movement, the creativity in it. And then there's other people that are like, you know, I'd rather just, vibe out, you know what I mean, to the music and see how my body moves very slowly, like a tai chi kind of movement, very subtle and transitions here and there. But however it is that you find yourself to move your body and make sure the sounds that you're using are sounds that are going to be of positive, high vibrating frequency, because this is real life meditation, right? um And then let's also talk about lyrics, right? The vibration of the music, the beat. Um, you know how if you're close to a speaker, you can really feel the vibration? I'm literally talking about the vibration, right? If, there's music um, that has a certain beat, like if you play the drums and things like that, where you can, or, any instrument, because you can feel that vibration of being able to literally like indrench yourself in the vibration of it, the energy of it, the essence that it's giving out to you, right? Even, if you're just sitting in it for a minute and then get to moving, because there's people that might can't walk around to dance that way, but even moving your hip a little, or just your hands and your fingers, and just connecting these things to your essence, and to the essence of spirit, and what these movements may mean, and how you can kind of tap into your body a bit more to hear messages if spirit begins to speak different things, you know what I mean? And also, health conscious, right? Because that's the vessel in which spirit is coming through. And it's also going to keep you in a space where you're fit to be able to clearly hear from spirit. And then lastly is the sacred and consecrated items and times. So let's just say you only have a minute for like the grateful statements, or you have 5 minutes of devotion. You could split it with 2 minutes and 50 seconds in the morning and then in the afternoon, or you could just do 5 minutes in the morning, five in the afternoon. You have the time because you're driving to work and you're driving home from work. You have a time of just devotion, This is consecrated time that's set aside not just for you to talk to spirit, but for you to love on yourself and say, I deserve this moment to myself where I can just be poured into by spirit here, and where I can hear things of spirit to better the things that I want to better, to see what's going on tomorrow in my life, to hear what direction spirit is having me go in. But this 5 minutes of devotion I will have for myself. That's the consecrated time. How about your car rides, right? We just said like going to and from work. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you know, as you're walking to the bathroom, that could be your devotion for the morning. And as you're putting on your PJs for the evening, do it again. And then whenever you're on a car ride, you got to go to the store. Every time you get in your car, make it a point to say, as I'm opening the door, I'm opening the door to be able to come into this space here with spirit. And as I'm driving, as I see things, as I hear things, help me to revelate these and see how they're giving me answer to things that are in my life, or some constructive feedback for me in this journey. Let this be the safe space where I can hear you. Let this be the space that if people come into my car, that it be sacred, and that nothing, negative can come into this space. This be a holy space, right? You consecrate it by what it is you're saying and what you believe that space to be. And then it has to be. It becomes conducive for everyone else, right? And then the rise and rest early. If you are everybody say, I'm a morning person or a night person. If you can find a time, I'll say, that's not in your regular routine, that could be something of a sacrifice. Oh, spirit is all about the sacrifice because it means you really want it. So that rise and rest early is like, if you usually are a 9 o'clock, I go to bed type person, or a 10 o'clock, right? That before you rest, if you're going to go to bed at 10, then 9:30, go ahead and get in your room so you can go ahead and meditate right before. That's getting it early. Or rise early. If you know in the morning I have to get up at 7 o'clock because I have to be to work by 9, then instead of just wait until 7, get up at 6:30. Spend that time with spirit and then begin your day. Not getting up, rush to go do something without taking any consultation to the spirit in which woke me up this morning. This free will, this breath and life in which I have. How can I fit this into my real life? These are just a variety of ways in which I have utilized, or, that I have heard or seen or researched about that people do. But these are things that you do, and then they change as your life changes, right? Because as things change, your methods will change, your techniques will change, you'll strengthen them. You'll take these as cookie cutter, and then you'll make it your own, But these are real life ways to meditate, and I think a lot of people fall short on understanding all the ways that you can have your mind in a meditative state in a regular, just here, real life way. Because we're all busy, but we cannot be so busy that we are not taking care of ourselves in the healing journey, or else we're just we're zombies, you know, um, walking around. It's like a shell just walking around, right? Nothing inside of it, right? So that's the idea of real life meditation techniques, and I hope that you all can utilize those techniques, that you have a greater understanding of meditation. And no, I didn't dig deep into the history of it and how long they practiced it before it came over to here, and all those different things, and how different cultures, and different stories. You can do that information on your own. What I wanted to dig in is people to really get a healing. And in order to do that, I know that it's easier to fit something in to your already busy and wild and wacky lives, trying to heal in the midst of that. So the more simplistic we can make healing, the more susceptible we are to kind of receiving it and walking in it. And then once we're in it, spirit can kind of guide and direct, and take the lead on everything else, and things just kind of run smoothly. But this is the end of this. I do want to say, when it comes to um, let me go back so I can, let me see. I wanted to go back on that slide, but what I wanted to tell you guys was about some of the um, services and products really, really quickly. Um, so if you are looking for mentorship and guidance for your wellness and spiritual healing journey, I have a program, long-term programs and short-term programs, along with workshops in which you can attend. And these wouldn't be webinars like this. These are things that we're working personally and one-on-one with one another to really dig into your healing journey. There are also oracle card readings that are available, personal readings, so that you can dig into your personal journey. And it will also help you to build your space in meditation, because you kind of get an idea of what things you should be concerned about and talking about and things of that nature. There's also a few other workshops, webinars such as this, that will help you in your healing process if you suffer from the doormat syndrome. Okay, if you don't know what that is, I would suggest that you go to our YouTube page and look that workshop up. It will give you information about what that is, the doormat syndrome. And then there's also the doormat syndrome, and then there's also the boxed in syndrome, and then there's the lovesick syndrome. Okay. So if you find yourself in any of those boats and you would like to take that workshop, those are workshops such as this one. It's just a webinar that you can view at your own convenience. But to do the actual healing work in those services, if you're looking for uh, herbal medicinal products for womb trauma and things for the divine feminine, then please do remember the email in which you receive this link is the same one that I will respond to. It will go straight to Aura, which will come straight to me. And I'll be able to answer any questions that you have, or possibly build workshops in which you're interested in, or do some live events. If you're not connected on social media, YouTube is Ashes the Rebirth. So connect there, and absolutely on Facebook, because we do live things there as well. I want you all to remember to be led and guided by all things pure, true, and love, because in that all things great and grand will be beckoned unto you. I just want to thank you all for taking time to listen to the webinar, to register for it, and also to say thank yourself for being very diligent along your healing journey. Okay. It is not for the weak. And so I do understand all that you are putting in. And so I appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you. Um, I am Ashes the Rebirth. Let's continue along our journeys.